This is not good for the Texans. This past Saturday, Houston lost to the Chiefs 27-19, but the bigger loss was wide receiver Tank Dell, who suffered a gruesome knee injury after a 30-yard touchdown catch. Wide receiver Jared Wayne was in the vicinity. He was a little bit under the ground, kind of some friendly fire, and Tank got kind of wrapped up, and it was very bad. He had to be carted off in a kind of box enclosed, and they took him right to the hospital. Very bad news. And I'm sure everyone is feeling terrible about it because this kind of changed the momentum of the game. And when somebody gets hurt, like CJ Stroud, very emotional after that. It's one of his best friends. And we'll talk about the quote in just a second. But the guy cares so much, and that's what you want to see. As far as Tank Dell, we don't know the significance of the injury yet. It's said to be very bad. And again, doctors are working to figure it out. This is a day after, so we'll see what happens. But Dell right now supposedly has a dislocated kneecap at the moment. There's can be some nerve damage in his knee. I saw a couple tweets from some sports medical doctors, and they say it could be an ACL. There could be a femur break, and this is all speculation, so we do not know. But it's said to be not good for Tank Dell. I've heard a lot of people say he may never play football again, and it might be right. It's difficult to say. For right now, it's definitely not good for the Texans. And let's talk about C.J. Stroud for a second, because C.J. Stroud crying on the field. You can see him visibly upset. Very, very close relationship with Tank Dell. And him after the game, he was kind of speechless. He really didn't say anything. I'm pretty sure the reporter asked him a question, and he waited like 10 to 15 seconds before he said anything. And it was just silence. And he said, we serve a miracle God. I'm torn up, but I got to be strong for him. And it's so difficult to see Stroud like that, because it's such a hard mindset, right? One of your best friends, the guy that you're so close with on the field, goes down. And he did not look like the same player after. The Texans kicked one field goal after that. Kaimi missed the extra point to tie the game. Honestly, this isn't about the game anymore. This is about the health of wide receiver Tank Dell, because that was a big part. And now there's a lot of rumors as to who are the Texans going to go get. Because Tank Dell, you have Xavier Hutchinson, Robert Woods. There's not many players on the roster in terms of who can complement Nico Collins. But I think that's besides the point right now. Right now, we need to know the status of Tank Dell, because this is a guy who earlier in the season was shot in a leg. He suffered last year. He had a leg injury. He injured his fibula. Now another leg injury. There's already been a lot going on with him, and now Stroud is distraught, a mess, an absolute mess after the game. And you never want to see your quarterback like that, because the Texans were in that game. I can argue if this doesn't happen, the Texans could have probably won or been in this game. It was so close for so long, and when this play happened, I think the team just kind of shut down, and rightfully so. There was already some injuries to the offensive line, and when Tank Dell went down, and I don't know why they showed the replay like 8 times, but I saw his leg. I saw what happened. I don't need to see it again, right? It was crazy, and it sucks. I don't know how he held on to that ball. That's something I cannot. It's unbelievable that he caught the ball and was like, yeah, my knee hurts. And you could see him grimacing in this picture. It's just like, yeah, I dislocated my kneecap. You could see it in the photos. His knee is a different direction, and I don't want to gross anyone out, but it was rough. And to go back to CJ Stroud for 1 second, because I think this is really crucial, and I want to hear your guys' thoughts in the comments as well, because this is controversial for me. CJ Stroud crying on the field. People have a problem with it. People are calling him, just get over it. It's an injury. But like, understand the connection of the on-field to on-field player. Us as fans, we can't really have an opinion because, and I know this is stupid to say because obviously we love the players, but like, it's so difficult to just get up and move on. It's not like the DeMar Hamlin situation, but when you have such a gruesome injury, it's like, I don't know why people are hating on CJ Stroud for his emotions. I understand okay, people saying he's being a baby, get over it. It's just like, it's not that easy to do, especially as a player on the field with your best friend. And after the game was just speechless. It's one of the hardest things to do. And for Stroud, I'm hoping he can get past it, right? It's just a one game thing where obviously it hurts you, but to know that he's getting better, and once we know the status of Dell, hey, he's doing good. He's got X, Y, and Z. Whatever's happened, if there's ligament damage, hopefully all signs are trending upward. But for Stroud, he needs to focus on himself as well as Tank, because obviously he can't just forget about it. And this is all on Stroud. I'm not going to tell him what to do, but this is just such a key detrimental moment for the Texans in terms of moving forward, because Tank Dell's done for the season. And there's a likelihood, and I don't know, I don't want to say it yet because they haven't announced the details of the injury. It's said to be, again, extreme. We don't know the extremists of, if that's even a word, of the injuries. But this is the deal, right? Can CJ Stroud deal with the noise? And it's been a lot of people, I've seen a lot of 50-50 where it's like people are hating on him and people are just like, what is this guy doing? Or they're understanding the pain. So it's like, I'm understanding it. And I would say I would love to have a guy like CJ Stroud caring about players that much, because it shows you how much of a human being it is. Because players, you don't see the behind the scenes stuff. You don't see, they're not robots. They're real human beings like us. And this is just so controversial that I'm just going to stop talking about it. But let me know your guys' thoughts. This is just such a crazy situation where Tank Dell goes down, and honestly, the outcome of the game doesn't matter anymore. Football is a great sport, but when something like I don't want to explain it to a different injury, but I'll compare it to one injury for a second. Um, Zach Miller, tight end for the Bears, a little while ago. I don't know if anybody knows, but caught a touchdown. He bent his knee the wrong way, busted. I think he popped a blood vessel in his kneecap, and there's a whole little mini short documentary I think on YouTube that's a whole story of how he lost his knee. And I love the behind the scenes aspects of all sports. So again, let me know what you guys think. It's just crazy, crazy news for CJ Stroud dealing with this crazy thing. Tank Dell with an unreal injury. There was injuries all game. Offensive line was banged up, and then another crazy injury. I was out watching the game, and people were just, it was not fun. But Texans lose a big blow at wide receiver. We will talk about some rumors as to who the Texans are going to get at wide receiver. I don't believe it's anyone, but there is some rumors we might go out and get Deontay Johnson or Odell Beckham Jr., so that'll be the next two videos. But I just wanted to have a quick little update. It's not the longest video, but just some controversial things to touch on. Tank Dell is stabilized in the hospital and said to be released. We will know the details of the injury. He's probably going to need surgery. What is exactly wrong is the details, and I'll make an update video as soon as I find out the details. But thank you everyone so much for watching. Check out the future trade rumors. There could be a wide receiver. Texans could be on the move very shortly. But again, thank you so much for watching, and we'll catch you in the next video.